So this is you. Let's go, got my 2 billion coins for the Hyperion. Time to buy it with just a couple of clicks, and there we go. After months of hard work, I finally have the Hyperion. But now that that's done, what do I do now? Maybe it might be a good idea to just... Nah, this is Skyblock, you ain't going anywhere, pal. Anyway, today I'll be showing you guys a bit about what to do after you get your Hyperion, but more importantly, what are some ways that you can use this prestigious Hyperion to actually make some money with it. I mean, that was kind of the whole point after all, right? Now let's get right into it. I'm sure you guys have already heard that Kudra is really good for money, and post-foraging update, even with the loot table changes, it is still pretty good. You're gonna want to be running Burning tier here, and that's because it's realistically the highest tier you can do without a Terminator, and the higher the tier, the better your profits. In order to do this money-making method, you're gonna want to be using your Storm armor here, or your Aurora armor, depending on if it's good enough or not. And I'm not gonna get into the specifics of actually how to run Kudra and stuff, and the setup and everything. There's already plenty of guides on YouTube about that. But, you know, watch those guides after you finish this video. I kinda need that retention. Please, please, please. Anyway, let's run Burning Kudra for 30 minutes, see how much we make, and see if it's actually a good money-making method. I low-key haven't played Kudra since the foraging update, so I have no clue what the chest is gonna look like. Okay, I don't know what that is, but we're taking it anyway. I guess you can drop starred pieces now, but we get like shards and stuff, and Crimson Essence, I guess, so I guess that's pretty nice. Wait, what the hell? Wheel of Fates are 1,000,000 coins now? Yo, this market is so cooked, bro. Alright, and that is the 30-minute timer up there. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this run since we're already in it, and then after that we can check the profits we made during this time. Alright, and there we go. That is the final run done. I'll just collect this chest right here, and let's check the profits. Alrighty, so first things first, before I started any of these runs, I bought 32 keys to start off, which was low-key way too much, but it's fine. We have 18 keys left here, and we can do a little bit of simple math here to find out that we did 14 runs. Now, the reason that this actually matters is the way you get Kudra keys to open chests is through this guy, which means they cost money. To buy one burning key, you need 600k, 16 enchanted mycelium, and 2 nether stars. So the nether stars are about 300k, and 16 enchanted mycelium is 20k. And after doing a little bit more simple math, it costs 920,000 coins to open one chest. And then we can do some more simple math, and we can find out that for these 14 runs, I spent 12.9 million coins on keys. So, firstly, for the drops, we have all of this stuff in this backpack right here. This includes a few books here, a few pieces of armor, and a couple of RNG drops, which are the Mandra and the Wheel of Fate. I still can't get over the fact these things were 16 mil earlier before the update, and now they're 1 mil. Using Sky Tills, we can see that the entire backpack here is worth 7.8 million coins, and that's low-key carried by the Mandra here, but you'll probably drop some RNG in those 30 minutes. Next, we have Crimson Essence. You get 500 for just completing the run, and sometimes bonus amounts too, so I have just shy of 9,000 Crimson Essence here, and that will get me 9.8 million coins. So those are the two smaller items, but the main big-ticket item from Kudra here is going to be in my hunting menu in the hunting box. You see, with Kudra, they made it so you can drop all of these shards from Kudra, so everything you see here in this menu right now was dropped from these Kudra runs. The Krakens give us the most money here, and they're also the guaranteed ones, but let me go ahead, take everything out of here, and we'll check on Bazaar, see how much it's all worth. So here are all the shards in their item form, and if we go to the Bazaar, it looks like they're worth 13.4 million coins. I'm just going to use insta-sell prices, because that's probably what you're going to use during Kudra, since it's just more convenient. So, 13.4 million coins from the shards, 7.8 million coins from the items, and 9.8 million coins from the essence comes to 31 million coins during that 30-minute time period. However, keep in mind that we spent 12.8 million coins on keys, which means we profited 18.2 million coins in 30 minutes. And that means we are making 36.4 million coins per hour doing Burning Kudra. Honestly, if that's your first money-making method with a Hyperion, that's actually pretty good, and you'll make the hype money back in no time. So for the next money-making method, we are going to be in the Dungeon Hub. This is a money-making method I touched on in my early game money-making methods video. However, I was extremely RNG carried in that one and also using a Juju, so let's see how it goes with the Hyperion. And if you didn't figure it out already, this money-making method is going to be F7 frag running. I know, bit of an old one, bit of a classic, but it still does make pretty good money. Pretty simple setup, just use the Storm and the Hyperion, smack through everything, kill the giant, you're done. Oh, and make sure all of your tunings are on speed so you can move around really quickly. Alright, 30-minute test, here we go. And Diamante first up, easy, not even close. So that's all the runs done there. Let me show you what my inventory looks like. It's honestly kind of funny. Yup, I dropped 9 Diamante's handles here, which is actually insane. Someone want to guess how many Diamante giants I spawned? I'm sure someone out there has said 9 and you would be correct. I don't know if the game just somehow made all the drop chances 100%, but I went 9 for 9 on these, which is actually insane. But here's the big moment. How much did we actually make off of this? So if we sell off for the Diamante's handles, we'll get 9.6 million coins. And then the other stuff is just like a bunch of stuff here. I have laser eyes and then a crap ton of fragments and everything. I'm just gonna insta-sell this for 4.5 million coins. So if we add these two together, the 9.5 from the Diamante's handles and the 4.5 from everything else, we get 14 million coins in profit from those 30 minutes. And that means that we are making 28 million coins per hour frag running with the Hyperion. Honestly, I have absolutely no clue how we did worse than the previous video, but I guess the RNG back then was just insane. But all things considered, I would say 28 mil an hour with this, it's still pretty good. So the last money-making method we're going to be doing in this video is going to be Enderman Slayer carries. Because with the Hyperion, it's really easy to take out Enderman Slayer bosses, especially ones that aren't yours. So that makes carrying super easy. To do this, you'll need a few items such as a soul whip, some souls to get through the hits phase, a power orb, and of course your Aurora armor. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Let's get into the 30-minute test now. Okay, so I do have to explain something about this. In order to actually get this video out for you guys in time, I had to become a carrier on like 3 different servers, including SBM. And if you didn't know, SBM doesn't let you do RCM carries, which is Hyperion. However, all but like one of my tickets were from SBZ, but since I couldn't be bothered to swap my setup every like 2 seconds, I just did melee for the entire thing. However, your boss times will actually be less with RCM, and most of your tickets are going to come from SBZ still if you're doing it right. So this means that your rates will still be pretty similar to mine. Okay, now we actually get to the test. Alright, so just because of how the tickets were, I ended up doing 1.3 hours of carries. And for the profits, I'll show you ticket by ticket how many carries I did and what the profits were. So I first got a ticket from this guy, but he was so slow to spawn that I only did 1 carry for him. So I made 2 mil off that. Then we had a ticket from this guy, and I did all of the carries for him. And this was a nice 26 million coins in profit. I then got this ticket, but 122 carries was just way too many for me to do. So I did 20 of these. And this got me yet another 26 million coins in profit. I also did a separate ticket in SBZ that I forgot to take a screenshot of, but I also got 17 million coins off of that one. So in total, we made 71 million coins in these 1.3 hours, which means we are making just under 55 million coins an hour with this. That is actually insane. That is some really good profit that you can get there with just a Hyperion. Now, I'll give you the fact that your rates depend a lot on the person spawning the boss, because if they're slow, then your rates are going to be slower as well. But either way, this is still a really good money-making method. Now that the money-making methods are done, I just want to quickly cover some immediate actions you should take after buying your Hyperion, as these will end up helping you out a ton in these money-making methods. Alright, so as soon as you've got the Hyperion, that basically means you've transitioned into a mage phase, and that means you're going to need to get some new armor for this as well. At the start, you're going to want to get some storm armor. It's pretty cheap and it gives some really good intelligence. I would recommend getting 1 piece of max sword, 2 pieces of storm, and a pair of wither goggles. However, once once you get some coins, it's going to be worth to get a set of Aurora armor. At burning and above, this becomes better than storm, so you're going to want to use this outside of dungeons and then use storm inside of dungeons. And then just make sure to max out the set, get your recoms, wisdom, stars, all of that stuff onto there. Honestly, pretty self-explanatory, but the next thing is going to be much more important. And that is going to be magical power. You see, once you get the Hyperion, you want to be switching to the sighted power stone because it's going to give you so much more intelligence. And with more intelligence, you can also get more tuning points, which means you can get more intelligence on top of that. So, I would recommend being at least 700 to 800 magical power once you get the Hyperion. This will give you a good baseline for intelligence and getting some damage in, but I would also highly recommend it to be more. Since the more magical power you have, you'll just be doing more damage. And also, make sure you head over to Elizabeth and grab an enrichment swapper for yourself and switch all of the enrichments to intelligence just like that. But that's pretty much it for the magical power. You're also going to want to get some new equipment here. Out of these 4 pieces, it's most important that you get the implosion belt here. It's super cheap, but it increases your explosion damage by 25%, which is actually insane. And you can't have a mage build without this. You pretty much have a free slot here for the gloves and bracelets. You can just put whatever you want in there. But as for the 2 top slots, make sure you have a rift necklace for the intelligence and a David's cloak because it's just really good. Anyway, you're also going to want to get a new pet. At the start, your best bet is going to be the sheep pet. It reduces the mana cost and gives you more mana, which is just a great combo for a really cheap pet. However, later on, it's going to be really good that you move to the golden dragon or the ender dragon depending on what you're doing. But with that, that's going to be a wrap on this one. I'm not gonna lie, some of these money making methods made a lot more than I thought they would. But anyway, I'm in a race with Flame Game God to 10,000 subscribers, so a like and a sub would be much appreciated. And join the Discord to be notified when I post and for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.